Hello there guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and man, we have to talk about this wacky SNES Classic pre-order disaster. So this whole situation has been making the rounds of news for a few days now, but today especially, it feels like it really truly blew up as all sorts of people and a lot of different articles and the My Nintendos and the Nintendo enthusiasts and the Nintendo lives of the internet have been posting about everyone's personal experiences having their Walmart pre-ordered SNES Classics actually straight up canceled by Walmart. Different letters have been going out to folks explaining the situation. There was a mistake, there was a system glitch. We know that you're very interested, but unfortunately you're not going to be able to get it before the console actually launches on September 29th. It's a pretty unfortunate situation, and it's something that I definitely had thoughts and opinions on over the last few days when the news first sort of started. But now it's gotten to a point where it sort of feels like it's bowling over, and I think it could possibly be giving us a glimpse into really how this SNES Classic thing is going to play out. But first, what I want to do is read an example of one of the letters that has been going out, and a lot of folks, again, you know, like Nintendo Enthusiast and My Nintendo and whatnot, have been posting a lot of their own examples of these letters. The one that I am choosing to use is the one that was sent to one Mr. Peer Schneider, who you might recognize from being kind of the big head honcho. I think the general manager is his actual job title at IGN. Someone who I really super love, and I feel like he won't mind if I just kind of show this here. He posted it himself on Twitter, and you know, I mean, we're good homies, so I don't think he'll mind. So there's quite a few things stated in this letter that's been going out to everyone. It's honestly, it's the same letter that I've seen that's been going out to pretty much everyone, just they're changing the name of the person they're sending it to. So the gist of it reads, "Thank you for your interest in the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition. As you are aware, this is a highly sought after console that will launch later this fall. Unfortunately, due to a technical glitch, the Super Nintendo Classic Edition was mistakenly made available last Friday evening ahead of the official release date. We regrettably will have to cancel this item on your order. We know that this is incredibly disappointing to you, and we're truly sorry for the mistake." Then it goes on to talk about how you paid, if it's credit card, PayPal, refunds, blah, blah, blah. At the bottom, it states the official launch date for this item is September 29th. Please check the product page on Walmart.com prior to that date for any updates. I do hope you'll give us another chance to earn back your business. So that's a fairly standard stock reply. I take no real issue with that or how they worded it or what's going on there, because I feel like the crux of this scenario might really not have a lot to do specifically with Walmart, possibly giving us an idea of what's going on with Nintendo and their plans, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Just sort of a feeling that I have about what's going on and what it might be showing us about what we can expect about this thing. This is a very exciting product. This is something that I want very much. This is something that most people on this earth seem to want. I'm sure all of you guys out there are very excited to get an SNES Classic as well. And so it kind of stinks to see something like this happening. And when I saw this happen and I started to kind of put a picture in my own head of what I suspect might be happening, it becomes a big deal and really important because of how freaking cool this thing looks and the fact that it allows us to play Star Fox 2. I have to talk about this. If I'm being honest with you guys, it's really not that complicated. More than anything, I feel like this is truly showing us that we are going to see a very similar situation to what happened with the NES Classic last year, where they are impossible to find. Pre-orders were never made available for those things, by the way, even though when it was first revealed, a lot of us expected it, and this thing is going to become this crazy rare item. Now, I know that there's a couple of ways that we can look at this, and one of the first things a lot of you guys might say or jump to once you hear me say this is, oh, well, you know, they said that they're going to work really hard to make sure that there's a lot more of these available for people. And I absolutely do believe that. I think that that is a true statement. However, we're at the point where the fact that they're not making pre-orders available yet makes me suspect they're never going to make pre-orders available, and the fact that they're not making this a pre-orderable product, to me, just shows that Nintendo wants this thing to be a chaotic disaster because it puts their name in the news in the way that they probably like, and there's a part of me that doesn't blame them, but there's another part of me that gets really frustrated by that, mostly because this is something, like I just said a couple minutes ago, I really do want for myself. I wanted an NES Classic, but I didn't really care in the same way, and You know, I mean, I checked like for a day or two and it came out and I realized it was like impossible to find and everyone was talking about it on the internet. Like, oh, we can't find these things. It's crazy. It's selling for $1,000 on eBay. And I was like, this is garbage. This is the dumbest thing. I don't care about this that much. I have most of these games. I've played these games. I'm fine. But of course, the SNES is a different story. A, because the collection of games is far better. And B, because, as I already mentioned, that sweet, sweet Star Fox 2. But this does become really frustrating to me, guys, and I think it also is to a lot of you out there as well. There's really not much of an excuse, as I talked about when this thing was first revealed, for this thing to have a shortage of supply and for it to become hard to find. And honestly, I'm a little bit peeved, personally, that it's not something that can be pre-ordered. To me, the fact that it's not yet been made available for pre-order and this whole Walmart thing happened the way it did shows me that Nintendo, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion and speculation, you guys, yes, this may change down the road in another couple of weeks, and that'll be totally great. I want to see this change. But right now, just my gut feeling as a gamer and as a fan and as a Nintendo fan, I feel like this thing is not ever meant to be made available for pre-order. And I can't for the life of me figure out why, unless Nintendo truly does want to create this same kind of situation and hype and fervor for the product that they did with the NES Classic. I mean, we are literally like 2 months away from the release of this thing, you guys. It's like 8.5 weeks. It's pretty close. It might not feel like it, but September 29th ain't that far. It's almost July 29th. I mean, it's coming up around the corner. And in any other situation, with any other company, or I should probably say with any other product like this, it would be something that, hey, we know people want it. It's a new product launch. It's a new game. It's a new console. It's a new whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it should be made available for pre-order. A website like a Walmart, like an Amazon, like a Best Buy should have these things all over the place because it is common practice and something that is expected and considered the norm in this hobby of gaming and from these companies, which does include Nintendo. So here we are, 2 months, 8 weeks away from the launch of the thing, and the closest we got to these things being made available for pre-order, and I should have said this way earlier in the video, this is in North America. I do believe, you know, in the UK and maybe even in Japan, it's been made available for pre-order like on Amazon and whatnot, so that's great. A lot of parts of the world and a lot of territories have had access to it, but for us out here, in the West, in North America, United States and Canada and whatnot, we're still waiting to have access to these things. And to not make them available yet, to me means they're not going to be made available. I feel like Nintendo would have known at the time that they chose to reveal this thing whether or not they were going to be able to meet demand or not, if they were going to have pre-orders or not, if this is going to be in plentiful stock or impossible to find, and they could have made all that information available. And they're kind of being mum's the word on that stuff. And now we're all waiting to say, like, hey, Nintendo, we love you as a company. We love your product. We can't wait to buy your product. It means a lot to us. And Nintendo is just completely turning a blind eye to it. And it kind of brings me back to the Walmart situation and what really might have happened there. Now, full disclosure, there is a very, very high probability that exactly what these letters are stating is true and is what happened. Maybe there was a weird system glitch. Something happened where, you know, some person working on the back end in the IT department in Walmart's headquarters accidentally pressed the one button that sent a link out to the website that says you can pre-order the SNES Classic. And it was like, oh my God, who pressed the button? Unpress the button, remove those, tell people they can't actually have them pre-ordered. Maybe that is what happened. It's not impossible. However, this doesn't feel like that situation. I just have this feeling that what happened was Walmart did one of two things. They might have understood directly from Nintendo that these products were shipping out soon and they were going to be available, and Walmart was safe to go ahead and tell their consumers on their website that it's okay to pay for it now and have one already set aside for yourself. Or they just assumed that it would, and this was not a crazy assumption, by the way, that like any other normal gaming or media or electronics product, you can just reserve the damn thing. It's just something that happens. And so they were like, oh, okay, Nintendo, that video game company, they've got another product, just like the Switch they released a couple months ago, and every other product from every other company in gaming. Okay, well, let's create our pre-order link. It's coming out around this date, so let's make our pre-order link live, and we'll make sure it matches up with the allotment. And what I'm thinking happened is not necessarily a system glitch, but maybe Nintendo was like, yeah, you don't know what you're getting. We're not giving you this many. Or they contacted Walmart and said, hey, you should undo that because we're not ready to tell you what we're going to give you to sell, or we don't want it available for pre-order and you're changing the way we want to sell this thing. or what have you. Or another possibility is that Walmart, as it got closer and closer to the date, started to realize, hey, you know, we started taking pre-orders for this SNES thing, but Nintendo hasn't gotten back to us with our allotment for our company that we can start divvying out to all our stores across the country and across North America so we can start meeting the demand of people pre-ordering them. This is proving to be a problem. We might be backed into a corner to the point that we have to just straight up remove the link and tell everyone who got excited, who felt comfortable and safe, who put their money down or their credit cards on file that, hey, sorry, never mind, you can't get your product. You're going to have to wait in line overnight for 3 days and fight people in the streets to try to get yourself an SNES Classic. Too bad, so sad. And that's just kind of my feeling here. Again, last point, it's impossible to truly say. This is really just me throwing my personal speculation and guess out there. But the way I saw this play out over the course of this past week, it just sort of feels that way. It doesn't necessarily feel like a system glitch from Walmart. I mean, hell, why did it take them several days? It was somewhere between like 5 days to a week that it took them to finally start sending some of these things out. Why would it take them so long? They probably thought they were doing the normal old thing that's supposed to happen, and then it may be on the back end, and maybe it was something that wasn't even Nintendo, but this just seems like a Nintendo thing. They have a propensity for this problem, and they even set the precedence last year with the NES Classic, excuse me. So it just feels like something happened on the back end, probably surrounding Nintendo, to make this whole thing happen. And so, in wrapping up, my main summary here is we all want an SNES Classic. It's going to be an exciting, amazing product, and we all want to pre-order them, but I have a feeling 2 months out with no sign from Nintendo that pre-orders are going to happen, no sign from Amazon, Walmart's attempt has blown up in everyone's faces, we're not going to be able to pre-order these things, guys. It is going to be a fight in the streets, wait in line overnight, kind of stupid, ridiculous thing to try to pick up these products. And I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in that, you know? Like I said, I hope to be proven wrong. Maybe in a couple of days, Nintendo is like, hey, you can pre-order these now, and it's up on Amazon and all over the place. And that'll be fantastic, and I'm going to pre-order my own, and everyone's going to be hunky-dory. But I just don't think that's what's going to happen, guys. That doesn't feel like the Nintendo of right now, and the Nintendo behind these mini Classic Edition systems. I feel like they're just trying to do something very different and specific with these, and they're less worried about pleasing the wide range of their gamers and people who want these products. I don't even think it has anything to do with the money. I mean, people can complain about Nintendo. Don't you want all the money? You'd make so much money if you just sold millions upon millions of these things. I agree with that, but I just feel like they must have a different idea in their heads about what they're doing here. And it's very frustrating, confusing, and sad. But c'est la vie. What are you going to do, you know? I mean, heck, even Shawn Long over at RGT85, I remember he made a video now a few days ago when he pre-ordered his from Walmart.com, and then a couple of days later, some people started, there was rumors about some of them getting canceled, and he made a very good video where he discussed how he touched base with Walmart support about what's going on, and he, you know, did what he said was getting to the bottom. I'm paraphrasing, but like he got to the bottom, quote unquote, of the situation, and was told by Walmart, everything looks like it's good to go. You should have your system on September 29th. And he was like, cool. This doesn't seem to be a problem. Maybe there's just a couple of extenuating circumstances out there, but I think it's fine. If you reserved your SNES from Walmart, you should be good. And lo and behold, the whole thing got ixnayed and undone, and it just really sucks for everybody. Anywho, that's what's going on, you guys. And you know, if I sounded a little bit heated or frustrated on this, it's only because I am a little frustrated, as I've said a few times. I'm frustrated because it's something that I want, and I am not prepared to have to deal with the struggle of trying to find one of these things. And, you know, maybe I get lucky and the first time I walk into my GameStop, it's going to be the one day that they just got a shipment and I'm able to get one nice and easy. But I'm really worried that I'm never going to be able to find one of these things, all because we can't just get on Amazon and pre-order it like we can any other normal product in the gaming industry today. So, what do you guys think about this? The whole Walmart cancellation, what the form letter's been saying, whether or not this speaks as to how difficult these may be to find. Will Nintendo ever make pre-orders available or not? We're counting down the weeks. I feel like we're way too close to the launch for them to start pre-orders only now. But who knows, man? We'll see. Nintendo, as I like to say, they are impossible to predict, so none of us really know. That's it. You know, share your thoughts and stuff about this below. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you next time on another video.